Have you ever purchased a large pack of 12 by 12 pattern paper and loved many of the papers in it, but then found others really challenging? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today, I want to approach those challenging papers. I picked up in 2025 the Recollections Christmas collection, and it has 58 sheets of paper in it, so it's a lot to use, and there's many great sheets of paper in it, but there's some that are more challenging than others. I'll give you like a quick flip through so you can see a couple designs on the front. I did like that it had things, like had papers that were like these tags, because I thought, oh, well, those are great embellishments. I don't even have to buy a pack of embellishments to go with it. I can make some of the other winter stuff I have work. There's this paper that has some things that could be used for embellishments. And there's also a set of snow globes, which at first might seem challenging, but for me, I was like, well, these are just embellishments. I'm just gonna fussy cut them out. And so that is what I did with the other sheet of this paper. But that's not what I'm gonna focus on today. So I want to address these sheets of paper here that have like a large design across the bottom. I have seen these fairly common on 12 by 12 paper pads. This one even has across the bottom and across the top, and we're gonna try to make that one work as well today. And so when I approach these larger designs, because that's kind of what's going on here, I talked about this in a video where I talked about 6 by 8 pattern paper with large designs, and one of my recommendations is to go bigger, and that's what we're gonna do today. Instead of making A2 cards, which I will commonly make, is probably my most popular card size that I make, I'm gonna make some 5 by 7 cards. And I do have templates for 5 by 7 and slimline cards with 12 by 12 paper, 6 by 6 paper, etc., because I do like to mix it up and use some other card sizes. And so I picked 2 templates that I think I could combine to address these pattern papers, and I encourage you to take a look at papers that you have that are similar to this with these large designs across the bottom and see if a similar type of math will work out, because I found, 2 papers where I can do the same math and it works out, and so I will show that to you today, and I'll show you how I approach this one that's a little bit more challenging. We are going to combine 12 by 12 paper busting template for 5 by 7 cards number 3 and number 6. Number 6 is a super simple sketch and template, but I still wanted to include it in my pack. You can purchase these in the Etsy shop. You get like a 10 pack. I think there's 20 designs in all for 12 by 12 paper and 5 by 7 cards though. But I like to include even the simplest sketches that I can think of, or the simplest designs I can think of, because if you're using it as a resource, but like what can I do? I don't want to miss out on those super fast and easy cards too, because that's sometimes what we need. So I'm taking the 4 by 6 from this one, and I'm combining it with the 2 3-inch side panels here. So I measured out, as I was thinking about it, this truck would fit on a 4 by 6 inch piece. I can cut 3 inches off each side, and then if I cut the 8 inches off the top, I'll get the whole truck. And that's what I would like. So I'll take the 4 by 6 and insert the row of 3 4 by 6s right here in the center. Now let's take a look at what doing that would entail. So when using tools like paper trimmers, please follow all manufacturer safety instructions. We're gonna cut 3 inches off each side of this paper. So I will take it from 12 to 9, and now I can take it all the way over to 3. So I'll cut that 6 inches off. You could also turn the paper around, whatever works best for you. And then I cut this to those 4-inch measurements. I found that the entire tree would be cut off with the 4 by 6. That's pretty lucky. You might get a little bit of the design still here on the bottom when you do the 4 by 6. Hopefully I cut that right. I was having a little trouble with cutting accurately with my trimmer earlier. But if you did get a little bit along the bottom, that might be something that you could strategically place embellishments to cover up, or you could just simply decide to trim it a little bit smaller to cut those off. But I'm gonna focus on trying to keep this in a no scrap situation. Okay, so I have those. These are a little boring right now, but we can embellish them and turn them into fun cards. And then this one could be as simple as cut a mat, stamp a sentiment, and you're good to go. then these are going to be similar. These we're going to cut from, with the measurements from template number 3. We're going to cut 7 inches and then 5 inches. I'm going to make the 5-inch piece from the bottom because this looks like a great focal point. Sentiment, mats, again, just good to go because there is so much embellishment going on. It's not the most complicated card, and you could certainly add extra to it, but it works out really, really well for the sketch. So I will put those all off to the side. I do 1/4 inch bigger mats, so this 3 by 5 will get 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And the same thing, my 4 by 6s get a 1/4 inch bigger, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, 3 by 7, 3 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, so, and all those measurements will be right here on the sketch, although I just realized, of course, the 7-inch is the full length of the card. So I will not go a 1/4 inch bigger on the 7-inch length. I will simply go to 3 1/4 by 7 and make my mat 7 inches long. Sorry for that. Like, I want to say typo, but I didn't type it. I just misspoke. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Cut 3 inches off one side, 3 inches off the other side. And then this center panel here, I'm going to start cutting into 4 by 6 panels, measuring carefully. Okay, so again, sentiment, mat, done. This one, kind of boring. So we probably want to add some embellishments to it. We want to like bring a little bit more detail to it. This one, challenging, right? We have the Let It Snow here at the top. And so we're either going to need to figure out how to cover the parts that we don't want or how to use the reverse side. And that's what we're going to talk about with this whole top of the paper. So I'm going to cut the next bits of paper first and then talk a little bit more extensively about my ideas and my approach. Okay, so this is a 3 by 7 inch piece. Most background stamps that I have seen are 6 by 6 or smaller, so it might be challenging to stamp a like background. You could basically make your own pattern paper, but those are some things that I would do. Basically, I would turn it over to its white side, treat it like I had a white piece of cardstock, and then I would, and I've done this a little bit, it's not quite the same thing, but I have this video where I talk about what to do if you have a lot of white space on a card, and I share things like background stamping, distressing, spraying, like ink sprays on it. You can do all kinds of things to help to decorate it, embossing, all of those things that I shared in that video. I think you could do to this situation too. So I will try to make it, I think I've listed most of them, but if I haven't, I'll try to make sure I add the list and then that video in the video description. But to turn this from a white piece of paper into something more interesting, background stamp, embossing folder, distress like inking or just any kind of inking, spritzing it, and there's probably a couple other ideas out there. Okay, however, the other option we mentioned is just covering it. And so I would encourage you to get a little bit creative because the initial sketch shows it to you like this, where you would put it down here in the bottom right-hand corner, but that lets the E stick out. So I would encourage you to just kind of try some other methods. You could just pull the panel up and leave a larger space on the bottom. That covers the E. It's okay that the snowflakes are sticking out. Perhaps if you have words that stretched all the way across, you could just center it like this and make it like one big column. You could come off to the other side. So we could keep it low to the bottom of the card, but overhang it on the side that has the letters. The other panel in particular, actually I can put it just like, if I turn it upside down, then it looks just like the sketch. If I keep it like this, again, just putting it up in the top corner instead. And so how can you creatively just cover the part you don't want? Because it really might be as simple as that. These two, I am just going to do that. I'm just going to cover the part that I don't want to see. So let's take a look at how I would finish off these cards. When I considered this paper that had some of the words on it, I flipped it over to the back, and this is something that would be kind of hard to show on camera, but there was like a little bit of miscoloring on the back, it didn't look pure white. It had a little bit of brown to it. And I don't know if it was like some of the ink kind of leaking onto each other, leaking through the paper. And so I thought, well, you know, then a tip like embossing, I will still have to try to cover up those discolorations, or I could stamp on it, but then, you know, again, I didn't know if I really wanted to tackle the discoloration. So I decided, well, the other choice is to cover things up. And I did address, if you do have a pure white back, like what are some other things you could do in that video that I mentioned and that I will link. So I decided I would use the cover it up strategy. As mentioned previously, there was that snow globe paper in the 12 by 12 pack, and I cut all the snow globes out and planned on using them as embellishments. And so this is what we're going to use to cover up these words on this card today. A couple of things I wanted to point out. I did cut the 4.25 by 6.25 inch mats needed for this card and many of the others, and some other mats. And I did die cut some things out of the back. So for these 4x6s, I die cut this Joy die from scrapbook.com in both red and green, and then I use that on some of the cards. But this way, since this is such a large piece of cardstock, that is not going to be, you know, you're not going to see all the center of it. I wanted to make sure I got a good use out of it. So I did a little bit of die cutting with that. And then also I had to test some of my stamps and change colors and that kind of thing. So again, I just used the back of this because it's all going to be covered up. So just some easy, like, you know, you could have, of course, used scrap paper to test your stamps or clean off your stamps, but I'm going to, you know, glue this down anyway. So I'll add some adhesive to the back and then show you how I will address the front. But I wanted to make sure I left it uncovered so we could talk about those as well. And I'm centering it on the card. Then I looked at the different snow globe options that I had, and I noticed that I kind of need like a long one to cover up that word snow at the top, and then I could do some smaller ones for the center. Again here, I need to make sure that, or I want them to hang off a little bit so they fully cover the word. Whereas this one, actually, I could kind of bring it down so it's not hanging off as much. But this one here, because I have to stretch all the way across, I needed to be really strategic about that. And it has to overhang just a little bit in my situation. So carefully sort of choosing the embellishments. Of course, you know, you could work with whatever coordinating embellishments you had. You could be using like circle dies or like ornament dies, you know, all kinds of variety of things you could use in the place of this, but I wanted to work with what I had today. So then I would add the adhesive to the back of each of these and layer them onto the card. You could put a little dimension behind them. You might be more likely to see the words or whatever else you're trying to cover up. But hopefully you can think about how using some larger embellishments will help with this situation. And I'm going to be kind of careful about how I place them until I know, because the truck snow globe is easily covering its words or its letters, whereas the snowman has to be placed kind of just so. And then I could add a sentiment over here to the side, or I could leave it as is. I could, you know, kind of play with my placement a little bit till I exactly like it. But as you can see, this kind of cover it up strategy can be really excellent for addressing when you have just portions that you don't want. So let's take a look at the rest of the cards. I believe there are 10 cards today. So those ones where we took advantage of that large piece on the bottom and made them 4x6, kept it really simple, just added a season's greetings sentiments. I felt like I wanted to, if some of these I felt like could be like happy holiday season's greetings instead of Christmas, I would try to do that, just because I saw a lot more snowman imagery, and so it's a greater variety of cards when I go to donate them. I do have Christmas jokes on jesscrafts.com, happy holiday jokes, and winter jokes. So depending on like how you're styling your cards, you have a variety of jokes to choose from. And I also do have stamp sets like this one from Sunny Studio, where you can just stamp an inside sentiment. These are often available for Christmas in particular. Like I've seen them from more than one company, so I might link a few extra in the video description, but this can also be a fast way to finish off the card, whether you're sending them to people you know, or if you're donating them, but having a message to stamp repeatedly into cards such as these. Okay. The other 4x6s, which were a little bit more plain, I added some snow globes and those joy words that I talked about cutting out before. So another very simple finish, but I wanted to make sure that what was really nice about these snow globes is they are on the larger side because they're from the 12x12 paper, so it worked well on these 5x7 cards. However, I did feel like just placing one looked a little empty, and so that's why I decided to add 2 to each of them. Often you'll hear like rule of like threes or odds, where you put like 3 things on a card, and I'm kind of thinking, well, it's 1, 2, and then the sentiment's the third one, so I think it still works out and looks nice. And then the last set of cards I made were from those like side panels that were 3x12 inches on either side, and I was able to use the snowmen images, and I added the season's greetings there, and I did a let it snow so that I could maybe make these just winter cards and use those winter jokes inside there. And then all of those sentiments came from the scrapbook.com Wordfetti Fa La La stamp set. And I used my Lawn Fawn inks in Fish Tank and Noble Fur to stamp those down, if you're kind of curious about the colors. I did only put mats around the 3x5 inch piece and not around the 3x7 inch piece, just because I thought that they didn't really need the mats because they were very solid kind of papers, but the mat measurements are on there. I did also adjust the sketch a little bit so that I could cover up some of those letters on this background paper over here. So if you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.